Good afternoon. It is now 5:15 on May the 27th, and the work session of the Bel Air Board of Town Commissioners is now in session. Commissioner Rutledge, calling the roll.
Here.
Commissioner Chismar.
Here.
Commissioner Taylor should be here shortly. He's on his way. And Commissioner Chance.
Here.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the agenda?
Yes, Madam Chair, I move that for the approval of the work session meeting agenda for May 27, 2025, be approved by the Board of Town Commissioners.
Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. Do I have a second?
Yes, Madam Chair, I'll second.
Any discussion of the agenda this evening? No changes? All right. In that case, Mr. Krantz.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For vote on approval of this evening's agenda, Commissioner Rutledge,
Aye.
Commissioner Chismar,
Aye.
Commissioner Chance,
Aye.
and Chair Edding.
Aye.
The agenda is approved. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. First up, the Town Administrator's report.
Good evening, Madam Chair. I do not have a report at this time, but I will have comments under future items.
I think this is the second work session running that you've had no report. Good job.
I'm trying to keep us on track.
There you go. All right, the tentative agenda for the town meeting, which will be on June the 2nd at 7 p.m. right here in Town Hall. First, we will have a presentation for the Girl Scout Silver Award Project Certificates of Recognition.
So now I get to talk.
Now you get to
Now
talk
I get to talk.
on the fun stuff.
On the fun stuff. So we have two young ladies who are coming up for their Silver Award in the Girl Scouts. No, it went off, turned off. Now I'm back on. So Kevin and I have an agreement with the Scouts where we reach out, let them know we have projects available, but then we try to remind the Scouts if they do projects in town to make sure that we include our commissioners so that we can recognize them and actually, if possible, if they're not having their own ceremonies, bring them to Town Hall. That's what happened in this situation. Neither of these girls actually are recognized in a Girl Scout ceremony similar to the Eagles, so I invited them to Town Hall to be recognized for their project. What you see up on the screen now are pictures of their projects. We will be airing those pictures for the ceremony presentation next week. We'll be able to do a picture-in-picture. Actually, Commissioner Chismar and I talked about this last year, and then Mr. Rutledge had mentioned it last week. We failed to do this for the historical awards, which I will note on the calendar for next year that we can run pictures of the children's art projects so our viewers can see them. That was an oversight on our part here. But
I think that's a great idea for next year.
But we did miss the opportunity here, so we'll be running these pictures while the award's being presented. But anyway, to make a long story short, we will bring both girls here. They'll be here for the presentation, and then we will have proclamations or certificates of recognition ready for them and recognize them here, and then run the pictures at the same time. So our hope is that we'll do this in the future, and other Girl Scouts will see what's being done, and then also ask us to be recognized as well as they should. So that will be one of the presentations for next week.
Their project is a lost and found / little free library for discs in the disc golf course at Rockfield Park.
Looks great. All right. Anything else on the Girl Scout Silver Award project? All right. In that case, we're moving on to the Town Derby certificates.
So the Town Derby, I got with Dave Gazach. We have set up 2 dates for all the participants to be recognized. My hope originally was that we could do this in one evening, but knowing that not all the participants might be available, we're going to split it between June the 2nd and June the 16th. So the list you have coming around is all the winners. And Jane, you should have gotten a copy. The last copy was for you. That way, in case any of the commissioners want to, that way you know who participated, who won, the ranking, where they finished. And if you have any good-natured ribbing for any of the participants, or if they happen to show up, you'll know where they finished, so to speak. So that will take place. We will they'll be recognizing those people at both nights. My problem is I won't know who is coming. There was no RSVP attached to their invitation. We're just going to, whoever shows up, will be recognized either one of those 2 nights.
All right, sounds good.
Okay.
Any questions on the town derby certificates? No, it was a really terrific event. The weather was perfect. It couldn't have been better. And Public
Dave-
Works and the police department were just fabulous. It was really well-run and well-tended.
I think they've had 5 or 6 more people approach them with applications for cars. So they'll have to make the determination if they want the race to grow and how they'll do that.
That is, they're a victim of their success. I remember the first year they were concerned for a while that they wouldn't have 2 cars, and you have to have at least 2 for a race, and they ended up with 10. But this year there were 26, and they had a waiting list because they
Yes.
couldn't. And I was actually at a business today, and they were talking about the Derby and thinking about putting in a car, and I said, well, you better get your, bid in because it's going to be crowded next year, so terrific. Anything else about the Derby?
That's all I have for now, ma'am. Thank you.
All right, so the public hearing on ordinance 841-25 regarding indoor shooting range, amending Articles 7, 14, and Attachment 1 of the Development Regulations in Chapter 165 of the Bel Air Town Code, as well as it is on for our unfinished business. So I'll let Commissioner Taylor.
I have nothing to add other than to provide a brief summary for those watching at home who may not have been following this piece of legislation before. This permits indoor shooting ranges in the B3 and B3A zones as a special exception, providing for the necessary qualifications of such an establishment. There are 2 amendments that I don't believe have been attached yet formally that we will have to amend on the 2nd. Proffered by Commissioners Rutledge and Edding, and I think that there are broad consensus that those amendments make the legislation stronger. So I have nothing further to add than that.
Any discussion from anyone else? I think we had a pretty full discussion when we originally looked at it and have a couple of amendments that are friendly amendments, and everybody agrees they're the way to go, so this should be fairly simple. Okay.
There's 2 subsections that need to be struck, and then there's the word guns in the preamble needs to be changed to firearms. And I think that's in the 3rd whereas clause, but it's somewhere in there.
Okay. Yep, I have those on the notes on my desk, but I haven't updated it online yet, so.
Okay. Anything further about the indoor shooting range legislation? No? All right, we are moving pretty quickly here. Under new business, we'll have Resolution 1253-25, the town fee schedule amendments. Mr. Krantz, is that you?
Yes, thank you. Actually, Lisa is proposing it, but I'll do the paperwork, and it does happen every year. And Lisa Moody is our Director of Finance. Lisa, correct me if I'm wrong, it is the county system development fee. It's this one right here, is that correct?
Yes,
Yes, and it's,
it increases every year by 4.5%. It's within the Harford County legislation, so it's just basically housekeeping for us
yeah.
to increase it in our fee schedule.
All right, because this is a pass-through that we must pay to the county because it's what they charge for connection fees.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's the only amendment to the fee schedule that staff is proposing at this time.
Terrific.
Michael, that's the old amount up there,
Yes.
right? Okay.
I just pulled this up off the website
That's okay, I
for
just wanted
reference.
to just double check.
Haven't done it yet. Haven't done it yet. We'll do it before Friday.
All right. Any questions about Resolution 1253-25? Nope. All right, next is the addendum to Harford County Town of Bel Air Sewer Service Agreement. Is that you, Ms. Moody?
Yep, that's me.
All right.
We talked about this during the budget. So this is the annual addendum for the Harford County Town Sewer Service Agreement. So the addendum includes the revised bulk rate, the revised ENR rate, and the revised system development. Not that one. It's the one for fiscal year '25. Michael's referring to fiscal year '26. So that's all. The law department prepares the addendum, and so that'll be before you for approval Monday night, so we can get all the signatures taken care of.
And those are the rates that are going to cover what time period?
Fiscal year '25.
Okay, that's what I thought.
That's it, unless you all have questions.
Well, another thing that really is sort of a housekeeping matter. Okay.
Yep.
Next, Plumtree Park Playground resurfacing contract. Kevin, I think that's you.
Yes, if you recall, a couple weeks ago, we had this in front of you, and we were waiting on some changes that need to be made by the vendor. Those changes are basically, we're operating under a piggyback on an existing contract, and we wanted to make sure that the prices that we were being given we could check those prices against the existing contract that we're piggybacking on. And they couldn't get back to us in time, and we fully expect that this will be resolved this week, and we'll have that in front of you. And this is for the resurfacing of the smaller of the playgrounds at Plumtree Park.
And this is resurfacing with the rubberized surface or the mulch?
The mulch.
The mulch.
Yeah. Yeah, they call it engineered wood fiber. It should last longer. A little bit, it's considered handicapped accessible, although I kind of have my doubts, but by regulatory means, they are accessible. Expensive mulch.
Very expensive mulch, yes.
Yes.
All right. Any questions for Kevin about the Plumtree Park Playground? All righty. Next, we have the Commissioner Liaison Reports, and I'm going to start. The Tree Committee at its last meeting was talking about this. They had a second vine trimming along the Monpaw Trail. It was very well attended. The guy that has been, sort of working on that as a project has really gotten the community involved, and it's a great thing because I stood there and looked at the trees with him with the vines, and I'm thinking, oh, it's all green and lush. Little did I know those lush green vines are actually killing the trees, and you could see that some of the trees were actually dead, and all the green was actually the vines. So I learned something. They go out and they'll tell people what are the vines that are native and should be there, and what are the vines that are not native and should be gone, and it's a great project. The other thing is that we did have Mr. Merkel, who is going to be leaving the tree committee if he hasn't already, and there is a terrific new candidate, Mr. Greg O'Hare. He attended the last meeting. He has a degree in forestry. He's on the forestry board, and he knows, like at the meeting, it was obvious that he really knew a lot and would be a terrific addition to the committee. So I'm very grateful that he has stepped forward and is willing to take on that obligation. So we're looking forward to having him fill out the application. I think Laura was going to help him with finding the online link so he could fill out the application. And she is out.
Yeah.
Yes.
I will
I'm
send her
not sure
an
if she
email.
did that before she left, but if you send it to Mike, the chair of the board, Greg works, I think, with his daughter, so he should know how to get in touch with him. But
Okay. Yeah, I'll reach out to
he
him.
did attend the last meeting, and he'd be a terrific person to have on the board. So that was pretty much it for the tree committee. They're also looking into the Mayor's Choice, the big tree was serviced a few years ago. They were going to look into when it was last looked at and does it need any trimming or fertilizing or anything like that. So I'm not sure if that is on the to-do list or has been done, but that were the couple of things that they were looking at. All right. Anyone else?
ECDC met on May 15th, a couple weeks ago, and heard from the folks who are seeking approval before the Planning Commission on June 5th for the Harford Mall redevelopment, specifically Phase 3, which is the beginning of their commercial redevelopment. Not much to report out of that meeting other than, they came forward with a vision for Phase 3 that will be reiterated publicly in front of the Planning Commission. And, we'll see what the Planning Commission has to say, what the public has to say. I think some questions got answered that have been percolating about this next stage. And there will obviously continue to be a robust public discussion about the future of the mall. No doubt about that.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that, Jake, that, the Planning Commission meeting will be, I think it's June 5th, Thursday on that. So, I wanted to bring that up for the public if they wanted to come and see what that's about. I mean, things should be online. The proposals are online. Is the plans been online yet?
Either tomorrow or the first thing Thursday.
Okay, so the plans will be on, the Phase 3 plans will be online later this week.
Yes.
And so we have at least about a week to review for the public, and if they have any comment, that would be the appropriate time next Thursday at 6
At
PM.
6.
PM, right.
I have nothing to report, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Commissioner Rutledge. Commissioner
Um,
Chance?
Yes, Cultural Arts Board met last week and working on the Ellis Ann Park and putting an amenity in there that I think everyone will be very happy with. Also, I'm sure you're aware, if you drive by Rockfield, you can see things are moving along there. It's really looking wonderful, really looking wonderful. And the Senior Citizen and Citizens in Need Committee has put out a survey to help gather information about senior citizens or individuals who are in need of some extra assistance and what their needs are to get a better handle on what we can be doing to help our senior citizens. So there you are.
Thank you so much. All right, staffing update. Michael?
We don't have any positions posted at the moment, so knock on wood. I think we still have a couple candidates in the pipeline and a recommendation coming down the pipe for Public Works probably in the construction department, I think. And you have in front of you the upcoming needs for appointed officials on town boards, committees, and commissions. I think we're still looking for, I guess, the most urgent one, but it still goes until July, is a seat on the Board of Ethics.
Okay, so Susan was not coming back for the Board of Ethics, and then Wayne Merkel is not coming back for the Tree Committee, is that correct?
Correct,
So-
but we have a
You have somebody
candidate
fit
for
filling
Wayne
it.
Merkel's,
Right.
yes. So that's taken care
Okay.
of. We do need one for the Board of Ethics, so I guess we're gonna all have to put our thinking caps on.
Was Wayne going to resign, or was this gentleman going to wait until October to come on? I mean, he certainly can keep attending meetings
That
as a
is unclear
non-member.
to me because I have not seen him at the last couple of meetings, so I think we'd have to, I don't know if Laura knows or if you know, Kevin.
I believe that he could come anytime he wants, public meeting, but he would not take over until October
Okay.
when Wayne leaves.
Okay.
And then Greg Adolph was on the Board of Building Appeals. Who's the liaison for that? Does anyone know if,
I don't think we have one.
okay,
With
Steve.
commissioners, excuse me, we have never actually had to deal with an issue, so
do you know if Greg is amenable to coming back?
I do not know, but I can definitely reach out to him and ask him. I
Okay.
don't see why he would not be. I mean,
Okay.
it's a tough job, you know.
Right,
But, you know, I spoke to him a couple weeks ago about another matter, and I should have asked him at that time. But
Right.
I'll reach out to Greg and ask
Okay.
him. Yep.
all right, and then I'll reach out to Rick Garrity and Rob Preston on the Board of Appeals. Okay, or Kevin, do you know if have they said anything to you?
I believe both of them are willing to move forward. Rick just took his a course that the state requires, which took him 2
Okay.
hours to get through. So there's a dedication there, I believe.
Right, he wouldn't have done that if he wasn't going to.
No,
Right,
yeah.
okay. But I'll just double check that, to see what that. So then basically we have one opening on the Board of Ethics coming up. Is that what we know
Right.
so far?
Yep, that's what it looks like.
Okay.
So we'll ponder that. And I know we're laughing about the Board of Appeals because they've never had to meet Steve, but I think it was a great idea that you noticed that we needed one, because, when you don't have one and it's not ready to go, it'll happen.
Right.
All right. Now on to the calendar, which we all got a freshly printed copy of. So nothing jumps out to me as an issue here. But certainly if you see anything that's not on here or is on here that, on the wrong day or whatever, or is canceled, let Ruth and Eddie and Mike know, and they'll take care of updating the calendar for us.
The town run is Sunday. The town run?
Town run?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, that's not on here, is it?
Uh-oh.
Let me put that on here.
This Sunday?
It's June the 1st, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
June
town
1st,
run.
yeah. Thank you, Chief.
Yes, sir.
It's important for, I know why you know, Chief, because the traffic issues, redirection.
People in Major's Choice.
Yeah, I'll see people running past my house. Exactly. I'll watch them from the porch with a cup of coffee.
Be running.
I won't be running. All right, anything else anybody notice on the calendar?
Commissioner Chismar, I think we'll probably reach out to the folks on June 5th because the next Planning Commission meeting is July 3rd. I don't know how many people will be around, so we'll determine that at that point on June 5th. Who is going to be available on the July 3rd Planning Commission meeting? Yeah.
And on June the 8th, the actual birthday celebration for the Army's 250 starts at approximately 4:30. They'll start loading in around 4:30, 5 o'clock with vendors and things available at 5. And then the 6 o'clock will be the program and 7's the concert. So
And not on the calendar, but weighing heavily on my mind is Monday, June the 9th, when we need to be at the Proving Ground at 6:30 a.m. So
that'd be 06:30, ma'am.
it's dark 30 as far as I'm concerned. And when I backed it up as to travel time from here, and then I have to get up and, get ready, I'm like, that is dark 30 to me for sure.
There's two 6:30s in a day?
There are, and I don't usually see that first one.
No.
Not with my eyes open, anyway. All right. Starting our busy summer calendar. And also, just to point out for the folks at home, the first Friday in July will not be the first Friday in July. It will be the last Friday in June because of the conflict with the 4th of July celebration, and you just really can't have both of those things going on in town at once. So we get an extra first Friday in June.
That would be a final Friday.
It will be a
if you will.
final Friday. A final Friday instead of the first Friday. All right. That was the calendar. Miscellaneous, the U.S. Army's 250th celebration proclamation.
Right. We left this. I left this on the agenda because at the time we were still putting logistics together. You've covered actually most of the logistics. We'll have the event on that Sunday. There will not, however, be a VIP hosting tent. Just to be clear on that. I know I sent an email out explaining that. Just to reiterate, there will be a function that I still don't have the logistics on, but there will be a function at Independent Brewery that I think is being hosted. They call it a non-host event. I think for risk and liability reasons, the Army's not hosting, but it's a non-host event. But I expect you'll find a number of senior level military personnel there. Around 4:30 that will start, and then you're already aware. I saw the exchange of emails for your getting on to post the next morning, so that will still be a go. That will be our time to shine with them. It's still not really clear to me. The logistics on this have been a little bit challenging, I think, for everybody. We will not have a speaking role on Sunday evening. Our speaking role and our time to recognize the Army will be the next day that you'll be in attendance, but we won't be speaking that night. However, I'm 95% sure that our elected officials, our department heads would all be welcome at the VIP reception, the non-host reception, if they chose to attend. But I'll have more information on that as the week goes on. So just wanted to clear up that there will not be anything here. And the governor, as far as I know, will not be in attendance.
Developing news. You can keep us posted, but
Developing news, that's correct.
all I need to know is that 6:30 hard start at the post, so I'm ready.
So, Mr. Hopkins, you said on Sunday at 4:30,
4:30, they'll
be at Independent.
tentatively, yes, that's my understanding. I still don't have an official confirmation of that.
Okay.
What I do know officially is that the vendors and everything, there's 5 or 6 display booths that they want to set up. Some military vehicles will be here. That'll start around 5, with the program to start around 6. But I believe the function that they want to have will start at 4:30 to Independent, but I still have to confirm that for you.
Okay, then they're going to then move over here for the 6 o'clock format.
That would be my understanding. That's where I'm having trouble
interesting,
with the logistics a little bit, because I'm I'm just not sure, but
Right.
I believe that it's the intent for those folks to move from there to here and start the program at 6.
Well, keep us posted, and whatever they would like for us to do, we will certainly
And
make every effort to do. And we
Just so you're
will-
aware, for
we will
parking,
do
McCormick Street will be closed. We'll have McCormick Street closed from Hickory to Pennsylvania.
that. Mhm.
And then they'll have food trucks for the visitors, but the food trucks will be closer to the playground so as not to interfere with the music. The vendor booths will also be set up in such a way so as not to interfere with the crowd during the concert. So it's been a lot of moving parts. Great relationship with Mr. Brown from the Army, rather from the county government, their military liaison. Excellent guy to work with. It's just a lot of moving parts.
Well, like I said, just keep us posted, and
Will
we'll
do.
show up wherever we're supposed to show up at whatever time that happens to be. All right, anything further on that from anyone? All right. Next, staff comments.
I do have two things to report. Kava opened at 602 Marketplace Drive on May 23rd, last Friday. That's a Mediterranean fast casual restaurant. We are very excited to welcome them to Bel Air. And other really exciting news is that we have a graduate from Armory Marketplace. So Old Line Mercantile, who's been located in Suite 105 for the past 3 years, is graduating from our incubator program and moving to 4 Office Street, which is the former location of Tommy's on Main. So we are very excited for Shar and Tony Sterla, owners of Old Line Mercantile, for their next chapter in a permanent brick and mortar downtown. So we are also therefore now accepting applications for the vacant space at Armory Marketplace. I'll be reaching out to those on our waiting list, but certainly would welcome other applications as well, and people can just reach out to my office to get more information.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yep, I have one item. Just to update you all, we have been in the tax sale process since March is when we send out our delinquent letters. We've advertised twice in the month of April and May. We are down to 110 properties. Tax sale is the third Monday in June, and the county handles it for all 3 municipalities. That number will come down, it always does, but I just wanted to give you all an idea that we're at 110 right now, and that's real estate, utility, and user benefit. Okay.
I'm just curious, do most of the properties fall into people aren't paying their property taxes, or people aren't paying their user benefit? I know there was one property in there that really just owed, I think it was a sewer bill, but I don't know how that got dropped. You'd think you'd notice that. But.
A lot of it is the same people year after year after year. They know, and don't pay until
Their feet are to
it's
the
the
fire.
last minute. Yeah, it's crazy. I'd be a nervous wreck. But I would probably say utility or your sewer, which includes the bay restoration fee, that's why I call it utility, is going to be the majority of the accounts, with real estate following second. User benefit, it's tough because, again, we're collecting these monies for the county. We've already paid the county last September, and we don't have all the monies in yet. And it's $35, so sometimes it just gets lost with the residents. We do send out past due notices, so it's not like they're not getting a reminder. But utility for sure would probably be top. Real estate would be second.
Thank you. I just noticed that a lot of the numbers seem to me to be like kind of small, a couple $100. So, not giant numbers that I could see somebody might be in financial distress, but I think maybe they get lost. I don't know.
So the county will not sell a property unless the amount that's owed to any of us individually is more than $250. But we put them in the tax sale process because sometimes that's the only way that you can
Get
the
paid.
money collected,
Yes. Yes.
unfortunately. It's costing them more because we charge
Yes.
them advertising
I know.
fees, and it's
It gets
sad.
expensive quickly.
It does. You have a $35 user benefit, and we're adding $20 ad fees. as we go along, and then interest on top of that. You're not making that much in the bank. It's
Right.
just not happening.
Right.
But, so we do have some large ones, though, as we do, as we have in the past. But, yeah, fully expect that 110 to come down.
All right. Anyone else?
I'll just report that Public Works is continually working on those folks that do not cut their grass in a timely manner. The code says that any grass exceeding 12 inches in height is uncut, and we send a letter out to them indicating that they have 7 days to cut it, and if they do not cut it, then we will have it cut for them and bill them accordingly. And we've done one so far this year. The other people are kind of getting it done as we send the letters out.
All we want is you to mow the lawn. We don't really want to send somebody out there to
Yeah.
do it. But I know that one property that you did mow, I think that grass was 2 feet tall.
Yeah.
I mean, it was just
Yeah.
out of control, and
We have a couple on the pike right now that we're working with, and so we're getting it, but it's just and again, it's the same people, just like Lisa has with the taxpayers that we go after year that don't cut their grass. So bear with us, and as soon as summer hits and the grass slows down, it becomes a lot easier to manage. So
well, I know
Yeah.
once it's all this rain and then a little bit of sun, there's
Yep.
grass, it does sprout pretty fast. But thank you.
But
I
we
know
are
you took
working.
care of that one that was really a nightmare.
yeah, we'll continue to work on it.
Thank you. All right, no more staff comments? Commissioners' comments? I was going to tell you, Angela, I saw that Old Line Mercantile was moving to Main Street, and to congratulate you on yet another successful graduate. And I'm very happy to see that they're staying in town. I think that is really just terrific. And also, you know, kudos to the police and DPW once again. Memorial Day, it was really just perfect weather, just perfect. And thank you to the band. It really makes the whole ceremony, I think. It was very well attended, and it was really a terrific day. So thank you to everybody. Any other commissioners' comments? No? All right, in that case, Commissioner Taylor, may I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
And Commissioner Chance, a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
We are adjourned.